everyone, I'm Safia from Magic Light Artista. Today I'll be doing something more than just writing letters. Today we'll be learning how to do a watercolor artwork. So I'll be teaching you all the techniques for the floral watercolors, to how to shade and then how to color the flowers and then how to make the layout of the artwork. Also, I'll be teaching you how to write with the pen ink. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe, and if you would like to receive notifications when I upload a new video, please click on the bell icon below. Okay, let's get started. For this, I'll be using sketch paper. You can use any paper you want. Just make sure that if you're writing with the pointed pen, paper doesn't have particles which will come off with the pointed pen. Then it might ruin your nib. So for the coloring, I'll be using Crayola watercolors. I personally like the colors of this. Also, I like it because it's very easy to find, and also because it's not expensive at all. To paint, I'll be using a number 1 paintbrush. The number is written on the paintbrush, so get a number 1 paintbrush. And then for the writing, I'll be using a pointed pen with a Nikko G nib. Also, I'll be using Dr. Martens Iridescent Copper Plate Gold. That's the ink I'll be using to write the calligraphy writing. As the first step, I'm going to start off with drawing a border around the page. So I'm going to do it with the pencil first. So once I'm finished with the artwork, I can ink it. Alright, the body is done. The next step would be sketch it out with a pencil very lightly. If you're an expert in watercolor painting, you don't need to do this. But if you're a beginner, you can do a sketchy artwork with a pencil before you start doing it with the watercolor. So you won't go wrong in the middle of the watercolor painting and ruin your whole painting. Once you complete the sketch, if you feel like there are dark lines, you can erase it out with the eraser. Let's start with the lavenders. For the lavenders, I'm going to use a dark purple. I take the paint and dilute it with a little bit of water. I have already sketched out the shape of the lavender, so I know how it's gonna be. So within that sketched lines, I'm gonna keep random dots to create the lavender. So next, I'm gonna add dimension to the flower with another shade of purple, but it's more of a pink. I'm gonna take a bit of light purple and mix it with a little bit of hot pink. It's a shade more towards the red, but it's a hot pink. So when I mix it, I get a color like this. I use that color to keep random dots here and there within the purple. So I'm adding tiny dots in between the purple dots. You can see already it's adding a dimension to the flower. Before it was just a flat purple flower, but now it gives more of a 3D effect. So I'm gonna do the other lavender also in the same way. After completing the lavenders, let's move on to the greenery, the leaves and stems of the flowers. I'll be using a green, more of a natural green for this. So with the green, I just do simple swipes for the leaves. Let's move on to the pink flower before we start doing the rest of the green. So for the pink flower, I'm using a salmon pink. I'm using a diluted version of the color, like a very watery color as the first layer. So I draw the petals with that first. Then I use a less diluted version of the same color to do the shading. So I do a little bit of shading at the bottom of the petal, and then I use another more darker version to add more dimension to the flower with coloring the edges of the petals. Next, for the shading of the greens, I'm going to use a dark color of the green I used earlier to shade the leaves. I shade it a little bit at the bottom and the side, so it gives the 3D effect. I'm gonna do the same to the stem as well, so that the stem won't look just like a flat line. We have completed our artwork now, so let's move on to the calligraphy writing. I usually write down the words with a pencil before in an artwork like this, because I don't want to make mistakes in the middle. So you can do it if you like it, or you can just write it with the pointed pen. I'm just gonna follow the pencil lines with the pointed pen. I used the copper plate gold ink. So here we are with the completed artwork. We have finished coloring and writing. This is a very simple artwork which even a beginner can do. No advanced techniques, just a bit of coloring and shading. If you have any questions about the tutorial, or if you have any suggestions for my future videos, please leave a comment in the comment section below. If you like this video and would like to see more videos like this, please don't forget to subscribe and turn on your bell notification. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.